Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Come on in. Come on in the room. Come on in. Join us. This is Set It Up Sunday. I am Renita Alexander, the Leadership Locksmith. This is Set It Up Sunday. Set It Up Sunday is my weekly training that is exclusive to the Leadership Unlocked Facebook group, and that is exactly where we are. The whole idea behind Set It Up Sunday is to help you be intentional about setting up your week, your year, your life for success in whatever way you define success. So come on in. Come on in and say hello. If you are here live on Sunday night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, come on in, say hey. Let me know that you're here. Just a little bit of background about the whole Set It Up Sunday vibe. It's kind of a throwback to when I was on active duty in the Air Force on Sunday night after my daughter was in the bed, or as she got older, just, in her room, I would plan out the week. And what I discovered, especially as I became a commander, is that there was a lot on my schedule that I controlled. Now, I know a lot of people think that, oh, you were in the military, you probably weren't in control of your schedule, but actually there was a lot that I did control. And so while I made sure that the things that, what I call the rocks, which were the things I had to do with my job were included, I also made sure that I had all the time, or that I was able to do what I wanted to do. I wouldn't say all the time, but I was able to do pretty much what I wanted to do for all the roles that I play. So the primary role, of course, was my role as a single parent to my only child. And there were a lot of things that I did while she was asleep, but there were a lot of things that I was able to do because of some creative planning and, switching things around that had to be done for my job. So that's rocks and rolls, or parts 1 and 2 of kind of my scheduling hack. The third part is what I call R3. And what that usually stands for is rest, reflect, and renew. And that's the part where I make sure I'm on the schedule and doing what I need to do so that I can do what I have to do, what I'm called to do, so I can fulfill my purpose. And I'm going to talk about R3 in just a second. So, as an entrepreneur, I control all of my schedule. But I quickly found that if I didn't have a plan, I wouldn't get a lot done. So that's, I found that I had to continue the planning, using the planning hack that I had used when I was on active duty once I retired and became an entrepreneur. Because it would be 3 in the afternoon, 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I would look back and I could not remember. I had no recollection of what I had actually done, and could not see, the progress, the processes that I needed to have done. So I actually picked up my scheduling hack and kind of started doing what I needed to do with regard to planning. So now, for the last 3 months, last 6 months actually, I've been a part of a mentor program to take my business to the next level, because my accountant would probably say it was a hobby. But it's just interesting that the whole experience has, really felt like I was just starting out, because there were a lot of things that I had not done that needed to be done. I felt like, I was starting from scratch in some cases. And I was taking care of those things that I had to do for my business. I would say I was doing a pretty good job of taking care of the rocks. And I was even doing some of the roles that I play. But I wasn't doing enough of the R3, the rest, the reflection, and the renew, and I crashed. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't getting enough sleep. And because I wasn't getting enough sleep, I didn't have the energy that I needed to do the things I, normally do, like work out. And I was having a hard time focusing. So everything was taking longer. It was just taking an inordinate amount of time to get the things done. And so that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, is that that portion of scheduling, of making sure that you're being intentional about making sure that you are on your schedule. So the first part of R3 is rest. And of course, sleep is ideal. But there are other ways to rest, and of course that looks different for everyone. It could just mean, sitting, kind of zoning out. One of my favorite places to do that, and I talk about that a lot in the space, is near water. I'm blessed to live pretty close to Lake Michigan. I get I walk along the lake, and that, gets me my 10,000 steps that I want to get in. But I frequently, zone out, just sitting in some of my favorite spots and listening to the waves. The sound of running water really kind of has that effect on me. Waves, or water that's moving, I should say. So running water also at Buckingham Fountain, which again is in downtown Chicago. I'm blessed to live near that also. And then there's all kinds of little parks right here in downtown Chicago with fountains, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, I found a new one today. So, but I also gave myself permission to take a break, just to kind of set aside some of the things that I was trying to get done so I could rest. But that sleeping part also was important. Turning my thoughts off so I could sleep. That's the relaxing piece. Now, normally that second R is reflection, but I realized that I wasn't relaxing enough to be able to, to actually get some sleep. So I focused on the relaxing piece to my R3. So instead of reflection, again, I incorporated all the things that I know to do to help me relax my body and turn off my mind. So turn off those billions of thoughts that we get. Of course, again, I've incorporated water, a relaxing bath, water sounds in the background, of a guided meditation. Essential oils have been very helpful, like lavender, which promotes relaxation and can promote calm. So obviously with all of this, it's important to find what specifically works for you. The third R in R3 is renew, and that doesn't change. That is something that I've always been a advocate for. And that can be, again, it's, finding the things that work for you. It's can be a variety of things, but it's important to engage in those activities that revitalize us, so for me, those are things that, engage my creativity, engage my sense of well-being. So working out is actually a revitalization thing for me. I, feel so much better when I've worked out. And there's, things that happens to our brains when we work out. And I'm going to talk about that at some other point. But the working out is very much a part of my renewal process. It could be learning. It could be exposing yourself to something new. So like last weekend, I connected with some new people. And I also spent time with a friend I hadn't seen since the pandemic. So those, more of a casual community, but that's also important. And so I was able to connect and, actually go to the Art Institute right here in Chicago and see the Obama portraits that were on display, as well as some other beautiful artwork done by a lady who expresses herself through quilting. And then this past week, I actually got on a plane for the first time since the pandemic and visited sunny California. I worked out, I ate, I drank, and I sat in the sun. and I felt renewed. I got on a plane this weekend and came back to Chicago feeling renewed. And, but the thing of it is, there's no one size renewal strategy that, is going to work for everyone. But, it is a significant part of how we can continue to do what we need to do. We can't, offer anything from an empty cup. And so I would encourage you, as a part of your setting up your week, your month, your year, is to incorporate those things that help you rest, that help you relax, so that you can renew and do the things that you are called to do. So that's really all I have to share. I'm going to look to see if there's any questions or comments. And I am not seeing any questions or comments. Be sure whenever you watch this that you share with the group what you are doing to get some rest and relaxation and renew your spirit, your mind, your body, so you can do what you're called to do. Be sure and share what you do in the comments. And so I'm not seeing any comments. I'll give it another minute or so. And I encourage you, whenever you view this, to, again, make comments if you have anything to share. All right, so I'm not seeing any comments, so I am going to end the broadcast. Have an amazing rest of your evening, and I will see you next week for Set It Up Sunday.